What did you do yesterday?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Just watch Netflix and sleep. Okay, okay. That's good. Are you busy today? Or were you busy today?
No.
No?
No.
Well, let's wait for these guys. Hopefully they come.
I restart my laptop.
Oh, that's good. So you're at home right now?
Yeah, I'm home.
That's great. That's great. Did you work yesterday?
And yes, I was.
Yes. Oh man. And how do you see the tourist situation? Are we getting more people entering Acapulco through airplanes?
Entering, no, but there are many people and taking a flight to different cities.
Oh, okay, okay, nice. That's
Yeah,
great. So from Acapulco, you can go to other cities like Mexico City, Puebla, Cancun.
right now, the flights direct is to Monterrey, Mexico City, and Tijuana. Only this.
And how expensive are the flights?
How expensive?
Yeah, like how much money would a flight be from here to Mexico City?
Oh, it depends the time that you bought or you want to buy.
Okay,
With
great.
time. Yes.
All right.
With time is cheap, and one day to another day is too expensive.
Yeah, that's true, right? Right,
Yeah.
cool, cool. And Yasmin, what did you do yesterday? Did you have to work?
Yes, I work.
It's too bad. Well, it's nice to see you again. Today, we have a very easy lesson. It's about habits. And I don't know if you remember, but we talked about habits in level 1. Of course, we're going to see the same thing from level 1, but also, 2 or 3 more things about habits. But it's a really easy lesson. And it's also survey day. So I'm going to send you a survey right now so you can do it. I don't know if you are on your cell phone or your laptop, but you remember how when we were at English Access, the coordinator would enter the room and she would give you some papers with some questions about the school and about your teacher and things like that? Well, you are going to do that right now. A little survey before we begin the class, all right? I want to do it now so get it out of the way, okay? So please, if you are like on your laptop or your cell phone, well, obviously, you press on the little link right there and take 2 or 3 minutes to complete it, please. Okay? Well, let's check the homework. All right. For your homework, you just have to do the little chart in this page right here, on this page right here. And well, we can check it together, I kind of gave you My preferences in people, I like people who are ambitious. You know, they have goals and they are very dedicated and they want to achieve those goals. That is my favorite type of people. I like people who are, open-minded, laid back, relaxed, thoughtful, intelligent, people who are positive. You know, I love positive people. I don't like people who are negative. I don't like people who are too talkative. Like you can talk a lot and it's okay, but only if you talk about good things. Like if you're gonna talk about Belinda and Cristiano Dal, or if you're gonna talk about Zac Efron and his new girlfriend, it's like I don't want to hear that. That's not quality conversations to me. And I don't like people who are narrow-minded. You can be arrogant, that's fine, but don't be excessive with the arrogance. And I don't mind people who are weird. If you're weird, it's cool. You know, I don't mind people who are touchy about some things. Like, I understand that some people, you know, they have different experiences, so they're not gonna be like us, right? But let's see. I want to hear your opinion, Jackie. Tell me about your chart.
And I like people who are sweet, relaxed, talkative, self-confident, thoughtful, and open mind.
Thank you.
I don't like people who are a narrow mind, a pain, and an arrogant. And I don't mind people who are intelligent, where you're touchy, touchy.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jackie. Andres?
Man, I did, but I thought that it was with the Tanya's descriptions.
With these right here.
Yeah,
Talkative, never mind. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I think that it with the information of Tanya.
Oh, for Tanya's preferences.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay, okay.
yeah,
Well,
but I will try.
improvise, improvise.
I like people who are intelligent, of course, sweet and open-minded and self-confident. And I don't like who are um, weird, eccentric, and too arrogant. And I don't mind people who are narrow-minded and aggressive, and that's it.
Very good, very good. All right, so look at this. This word right here is narrow-minded. Minded, okay? The long I, mind. Yasmin, how about you?
Um, I like people who are intelligent, well, sweet, laid back, eccentric, self-confident. I don't like people who are arrogant, pushy, aggressive, narrow-minded. I don't put nothing in. I don't mind people who are in the middle.
Okay, that's fine. Very good, very good. Okay, everybody, I want you to activate your microphones, please, because I want you to repeat these words. Repeat after me. Narrow-minded.
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 One more time. Narrow-minded.
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 Weird.
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 All right. Very good. Now, Ismael,
Oh,
what kind of people do you like?
um, like the people intelligent,
See, I
sweet.
like people who are.
I like people who are intelligent, sweet, soulful, sensitive, and relaxed.
Okay. And what kind of people don't you like?
I don't like people who are arrogant, aggressive, vain. Um,
That's it.
yeah,
Okay. And what about this last one? I don't mind people who are. That means it's not good and it's not bad. It's like 50-50.
I don't mind people who are with open mind, social, self-confident, pushy, narrow-minded, and toxic.
All right. Okay, cool, cool. And well, there's one more word that I want you to repeat after me. This word right here is not arrogant. It is arrogant.
Arrogant.
Arrogant. Okay? Arrogant. All right. Well, that is all for this lesson. Today, in today's episode of Classes with Fernando, we are going to express our habits and the habits of others. All right. We are going to be on page 12, Touchstone, well, not Touchstone anymore, 2.1, Unit 1, Lesson B. All right. Jackie, what is the date today?
September uh
17.
7th,
17.
2020.
2020, yes. And you are with moi, Fernando. And if you know, I just said you are with moi. Some people say moi, and they really want to say me. It's a funny and how can I say it? It's a funny way of saying me. All right, you know, for example, who is going to help me? Moi. You know, it's like saying like me. You know, I'm your friend. Count on me. Moi. I remember my English teacher said this to me. I was like, who is going to be my English teacher next year? He said, moi. I was like, that's cool. I like when people say that. You can write that down in your notes if you'd like. But anyways, before we begin the lesson, I got to teach you some words, okay? Not that many words, just 3. All right, so everybody right now, well, almost everybody right now has a cell phone, and a lot of them are smartphones now. But in the past, you know, before that existed, everybody had a landline phone. A landline phone is just another word for a house phone. You know, one of those phones that you have in your house that are connected to cables and stuff like that. So this is a landline phone or a house phone. Please write this down in your notebook and I don't know, draw a little picture that will help you remember what a landline is. I will draw one too. All right, that is my cell phone. I can't draw that. I can't draw that well on this computer, but you know that's a cell phone. All right, so we have a landline. Remember that word, a landline phone, a phone that is connected to the land. And another word is house phone, a house phone. I don't have a house phone. Do you guys have a house phone? Jackie, Andres, Yasmin, Ismael, do you have one?
Yes, me.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Wow, you guys have money. All right. Well, let's go to the next word. The next word is keep in touch. Now, touch means, you know, touch. But in this case, it is a metaphoric meaning. Keep in touch means to stay in contact with a friend or with anybody. Um, now, let me give you some context. Right now, it's very difficult to keep in touch with all of my friends consistently because, well, I work for English Access and I work for Master English with Fernando and I make videos and I'm a husband and I have family. They are really sick right now. So it's difficult to keep in touch, to stay in contact. But I always try to send a message or call my friends, maybe a DM on Instagram or Facebook. But that's what it means. Keep in touch means to stay in contact with a person. Keep in touch with my mom, keep in touch with my dad, keep in touch with my best friends, and of course, I need to keep in touch with my wife. All right, so think about this question right here. Who is the person that you keep in touch with the most? Who is the person that you keep in touch with the most? Like besides your mom and your dad, who is the person that you keep in touch with the most? All right. I keep in touch with my sisters the most, with my wife the most. And you, Andres, who is the person that you keep in touch with the most?
Um, Keep in touch. I keep in touch more with my mom,
All right.
but uh, but also I keep in touch with my best friend.
Nice, nice. Okay. I want you to answer it like this. I keep in touch with person the most. My wife the most. My sisters the most. Yasmin, who is the person that you keep in touch with the most?
I keep in touch with my father the most.
Your father? Okay, okay.
and
Ah, that's easy. And who?
and sister.
And sister. Nice. And how about you, Jackie?
Keep in touch, it's a person that you see or you don't see.
Keep in touch means to stay in contact. Like usually you don't see, like you message or you call and things like that. Because if you see the person, it would be hang out. I hang out with my cousins. It's different.
Okay. I keep in touch with my best friend the most.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And Ismaelito?
Um, keep the touches for phone calls and things like that.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
And it's mean for phone calls or text message.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep in touch with my best friend the most.
Excellent. All right. I'm glad you guys have somebody that you can keep in contact with all the time. Excellent. Excellent. All right. And the last verb I want to show you is this one. You know, if you whenever you see these little dots, you automatically, well, you automatically think of Facebook messages, or you think of, if you have iPhone, you think of iMessages, and it's very similar to WhatsApp. WhatsApp, it says fulanito está escribiendo, or da is writing, or da is typing. And whenever you can actually see the person, writing, like WhatsApp gives you a notification, Facebook gives you a notification, that right there is called instant messaging. Instant messaging. Why instant? Well, because it's like this. You can see the person writing, and whenever they send a message, you automatically receive it. Of course, if you have good connection. Um, and instant messaging is like the new email, the new text messages. Like, think about it. Your phone, you don't really use text messages anymore. You use instant messaging, or in our case, we use WhatsApp a lot. WhatsApp is one good instant messaging application. Messenger, um, iMessage. In the past, I think you had, what was the name of that? It was Microsoft something. I think it was Live, where you can video chat and text. So instant messaging is the new email, it's the new text messages. Nobody uses that much because we have instant messaging and it's more convenient, right? Do you understand this word? Instant
Yes.
messaging. All right, great. And those are the three words that I want to show you. Like I said, we're talking about habits, and one of our habits is talking to our friends, right? Of course, the time we wake up, exercise, our studies, those are also habits. But one habit that we don't really talk about a lot is our social life. You know, our social life. Do we socialize a lot, or do we not really socialize? And today we're going to talk about networking. Networking. In the first lesson, I told you that social networking is, your connections that you have, and networking is to make connections with people. It can be your friend, it can be a coworker, or it can be new people. All right, it can be with new people. So please open up your book to page 12. Okay. We are on lesson B, networking. Ismael, could you read the instructions 1A, please?
Yeah. And class survey. Read information. What percentage of your class uses this wetsuit with methods of
Methods.
eh?
Methods.
methods of communication every day, both on the methods you use and complete the chart.
All right. Um, yeah, Jackie, can you read this, please?
How do you keep in touch? Most people use several different ways to keep in touch. Here are the percentage of young people who use this method of communication every day.
All right. That word right there, it's pronounced like meth, id, method, okay? Method. I know, I don't understand why there's an O in that word, but you know English, it's crazy. Let's think about this, you know. Um, this right here is the percentage of young people who talk on a cell phone, 70%, who send text messages, 60%, use instant messaging, 54, 47, 46, 22%. Um, Here it doesn't specify what is young people. I'm guessing it is anywhere from 15 years old to 30 years old. That is my guess. I don't know. And they interviewed a lot of people, and this is their results. Let's talk about this. You know, there are 5 people in our class, including me. Um, I want to know our style. I want to know our style. So, in our classroom, in our classroom, um, there is an option in your Zoom call in the chat. It lets you raise your hand. Can you raise your hand or no? I think it says levantar la mano or something like that in your chat. Or you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Can you do it, Andres? Can you raise your hand? No? Okay.
No, I have in my cell phone, in my laptop, no.
Doesn't work? Okay. Okay, that's cool. Well, in that case, I'm gonna need you to speak, okay? So please activate your microphone. Um, Talk on a cell phone. Jackie, do you talk on a cell phone?
Yes,
Andres?
Yes.
Yasmin?
Yes.
And Ismael?
Yeah.
All right, and I do too. So 100% of our classroom talks on a cell phone. That's good, I guess. Do you send text messages? Do you use the texting application or only WhatsApp? I send text messages to my wife because she doesn't use WhatsApp. She's a gringa, and the Americans they don't really use WhatsApp. So Jackie, how about you? Do you send text messages? Jackie, Andres, Yasmin, Ismael.
Only
No, only
only
WhatsApp.
we Only when I receive promotions.
Okay, nice. Ismael, Jackie?
No.
No?
Only for messengers or WhatsApp.
Wow. Okay. I send messages, so only 40%. Only Andres and I. That's crazy. Instant messaging. Well, I see all of you have WhatsApp, so I'm gonna put 100. Use social networks like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I know that Jackie and Andres and Ismael, they have social networks. Yasmin, do you have a social networks?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So 100% for
What is
this.
for that?
Do you talk on a landline?
Can
Do
you
you
repeat?
remember?
Yeah.
Talk on a landline. Landline, remember, it's like a phone for your house.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And Jackie, you?
Sometimes.
Viejitos. 80%.
With my grandma.
And do you send emails?
Yes. Me just every day.
Every day, me too, man. Jackie,
Yes.
Yasmin, Ismail? Yes. Sorry, Jackie, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Yes.
Yes. And Ismail?
Yeah.
Emails? 100% on emails. Wow, professional people here. That's great. That's really, really great. So, out of all of the methods of communication, the most, well, the least common one is text messages. And that's really crazy because if you think like 10 years ago, text messages was the cool thing. Like everybody was saying, I love you, see, see you later. And, all of these cool things. Text messaging 10 years ago was really, really interesting. And now it's instant messaging, social networks. Things change really quickly. But that's great. I love to see the advances in technology. Now, let's look at this activity. Yasmin, can you read the instructions?
Listen. Listen for people talk about how they communicate. What
Methods.
methods of communication do they use?
All right. So listen to them and listen and read. All right.
Lesson B. Networking. 1. Grammar in context. B. Listen. 4 people talk about how they communicate. What methods of communication do they use? We asked 4 people how they like to communicate. Here's what they said. Jeff Gordon, 25.
I go on my social networking site 5 or 6 times a day. I'll log in when I'm taking a break. I like to check out my friends' pages and see what they're up to.
Victoria Garza, 40.
Personally, I use email, but my kids are constantly texting. Occasionally, my son will email someone like my sister, but with friends, he tends to text.
David Smith, 31.
At work, I'm on the phone all the time, but when I'm traveling, I normally use my laptop to make calls over the internet. It doesn't cost anything, so...
Sarah Wang, 19.
Every once in a while, I'll instant message with a friend. Some of my friends don't use IM, so mostly I just call on my cell to catch up with them.
Page 27.
All right. So, Jackie, What methods of communication does Jeff Gordon use from these 6 options over here?
Use social networks.
Mhm. Nice. Andres, Victoria Garza?
She used send an email.
She uses email. Okay. What about her kids? Okay, never mind. Yasmin? David Smith? What does he use?
Checar con cell phone.
On a cell phone. All right. And he makes calls over the internet. Those are good ones. And Sarah Wang Ismail, what does she use? Ismael?
Oh,
What do you do? I mean, not what do you do? What does Sarah Wang do? How does she communicate with people?
for instant message.
For instant messaging. Okay, now I want you to read these little paragraphs of the people that I told you. Jackie, Jeff Gordon, Andres Victoria, Yasmin, David, and Ismael Sarah Wang. Please begin reading, Jackie.
Jeff Gordon, 25. I go on social networking site 5 or 6 times a day. I log in when I'm taking a break. I like to check out my friends' page and see what they're up to.
Thank you. Andres?
Me. Personally, I use email, but my kids are constantly texting. Occasionally, my son will email someone like my sister, but with friends, he tends to text.
Thank you.
At work, I'm on the phone all the time, but when I'm traveling, I normally use my laptop to make calls over the internet. It doesn't cost anything, so
Thank you. Ismael?
Every once in a while, I'll instant message with a friend. Some of my friends don't use email. Just email? No?
I am.
I am okay. So mostly I just call on myself to catch up with them.
Yes. I am is the abbreviation for instant messaging. But in real life, nobody uses I am. Nobody says I am. So I don't know what's going on with Sarah. Um, and well, that is all. Let's go to the next lesson. Next page. Do you have your books yet or not yet? Yasmin, Andres,
Not yet.
not
not
yet.
yet.
No, yet.
But the
Okay.
next class, I
Next
have.
class. Okay.
I promise.
Great, great. Well, Andres, read exercise 2A, please.
Find sentences in the interviews with a similar meaning to the ones below. Write the sentence, changing the words in both, then read the grammar chart.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Let me see. Perfect. I don't know. Can you see both pages? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Um, all right. Well, trying to adjust. All right. So look at these sentences up here. You know, number one, with friends, he usually texts. How can I change this using the information from the interviews? With friends, he usually texts. How does, let's see. Who says this? With friends, he usually texts.
Victoria.
Victoria?
He tends to text.
Very good. Let me change this. Let's see. So what you're going to do is just write the correct sentence. Just write the correct sentence. With friends, he tends to text. With friends, he tends to text. All right? Write that in your notebook. With friends, he tends to text. Now, what is tends to? Well, tends to is the formal way of saying usually. And now I as an English teacher, I really recommend you to say tend to a lot. It's more formal than usually, but it's the same thing. So if you say, if I ask you, what do you do in the morning? Oh, I usually go run on the beach. You can say, I tend to go run on the beach. And that sounds very formal, and it makes a really good impression. A really, really good impression. It's not like too formal, you know, but it's just really good. You can use this with friends or with family or with coworkers. All right, tend to. Tend to and the verb. Number two, once in a while I instant message. Who says that? What do they
Sarah.
say?
Sarah Wank.
What does she say?
Sarah Wank.
But what does she say?
Every once in a while. And I instant message.
I'll instant message. Now, what is I'll? What is I'll?
Future.
That's what you think. I'll is I will. And like Andres said, sometimes we use it for the future. But in this case, you do not use it for the future. All right. You can use will to talk about habits. This is normally done with a simple present expression, like every day, occasionally, every once in a while. Well, not every day, not every day. But why do we use will? You know, this is confusing for a lot of people, because we know that will is for the future, like Andres said. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to accept the idea that you can use will for the present, but you can. And the reason why we use this, in this case, will is kind of like hardly ever. It's kind of like hardly ever, you know, something that, you know, you don't really do that much, you know? Something that you don't really do that much. Hardly ever, sometimes. What else? I don't know. But things like that. So, will. For habits, you don't. You do not do all the time. All right. So yes, remember that you can talk about will. Let me give you an example. Uh, when I'm in my colectivo, I'll listen to music. When I'm in the colectivo, I'll listen to music. Um, I'm not always in a colectivo, but when I am in a colectivo, my habit is to listen to music because I don't want to listen to other things. So yeah, um, when when I go to the beach, I will buy some ice cream. All right. Or occasionally, I will order pizza. I don't order pizza all the time, but I do it sometimes, you know. Next, number 3, my friends text all the time. My kids text all the time. Who says that?
Victoria.
Victoria, she says, my kids are constantly texting. My kids are constantly texting. And in this case, you know, whenever you say constantly or always, that is for things that happen more than the normal thing, you know? So you think about it, you know, for kids, it's normal for them to use, I don't know, the video games and the cell phone for, you know, 2 or 3 hours. But my sister, she uses her iPad 4 or 5 hours every day. So I can say my sister is constantly using her iPad. My sister is constantly using her iPad. That means it's more than normal, okay? So remember that. Present continuous plus constantly or always, more than normal. And the last one, when I travel, I normally use my laptop. When
Um, David.
Yes. What does he say? When?
I normally
Yes.
use my laptop to make calls.
All right. Very good. Now, let me put everything on one page again. I'm going to put our notes over here on the sides of our book. Now, the last one, when you mix the continuous form and a simple form, the continuous form is the longer activity. The longer activity. What do I mean by a longer activity? Well, I want you to think about this. When when you go to the beach, when you go to the beach, what do you do longer? Do you sit on the sand longer, or do you swim longer? Which one takes more time? Okay? Which one takes more time? Or another one, when you're cleaning your house, do you listen to music? What takes longer, cleaning your house or listening to music? All right. So in my case, when I'm cleaning my house, I listen to music. Now, this right here lets the listener understand that, well, when I'm cleaning my house, I listen to music. You know, that means that maybe when I clean my house, it takes me 1 hour. But when I listen to music, it's maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes, right? Because the continuous form, cleaning, is the longer activity. And the simple form, listen, is the shorter activity. All right, so let's see what we do here. This is very common with the word when. Remember that, it's common with the word when. When continuous. Let's do this little activity right here. Yasmin, can you read the instructions, please?
Complete the conversation with correct form of the verbs given. 10 practice.
All right, very good. I'm gonna help you with number 1. Andres, can you be A and Jackie B?
Yeah. And how do you normally catch up with your friends by phone?
Yeah, I tend to call them when I'm taking my lunch break.
Yeah, I
Okay, start right there. Don't worry. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Let's look at the grammar chart. Okay, let's study this. To talk about habits, you can use the simple present. That's something that we know. You can use the verb tend or the modal verb will. Here, will does not have future meaning. So mostly I call on my cell. I'm on the phone all the time. My friends don't use I am. My son tends to text. He doesn't use I am. Occasionally he'll email someone. So remember, the most common thing to talk about habits is to use the simple present. All right. For longer activities, the continuous form. And for noticeable, frequent, more than usual activities, you use always, constantly, in the present continuous. So right here, Andres, what do you think is the best option? What is the negative form in the present of not call?
I don't call.
Very good. I don't call my friends much. We always email.
Will always. We will. No.
Remember, we don't use.
Oh, we.
For always, what do we use with always?
We are always.
Yes. We are always emailing
Email.
each other.
Email can be on a verb, right?
Yes, exactly. It can be a noun or a verb. All right, so I want you to finish 2 and 3 by yourself. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes so we can check the answers before the class ends. All right?
Try.
Go ahead, guys. Do this activity.